Welcome to episode 26 of A New Way to Love, Live, and Lead. I'm your host, Cheryne Blom, a master coach, author, and the founder of the Self Mastery Hub, your center for self-inquiry, healing, and growth. This podcast is here to remind you that midlife isn't a crisis. It's a climax. It is the opportunity to have the best season of your life. And in season 3, we are focusing on energy mastery. In the last episode, we reframed burnout as an energy misalignment, not a personal failure. And today we're going to go one step deeper, because here's the truth most people never hear. Most people aren't burnt out because they can't do their work. They're burnt out because they're exceeding their capacity, not their capability. Let me say something that may land a little uncomfortably, but honestly. Most high-functioning people I work with don't have a doing problem. They have a discernment problem. They're capable, reliable, intelligent, resilient. And because of that, life keeps asking more of them. But capability answers the question, can I do this? While capacity answers a very different question. Should I? Sustainably. Midlife burnout often begins the moment we stop asking the second question. Capability is about skill, intelligence, competence, and experience. It's what you can do. Capacity is about energy. It's your nervous system, your emotional bandwidth, your physical and mental reserves. And here's the danger most people miss. Your capability can hide your capacity limits. Just because you can hold more doesn't mean your body, mind, or nervous system should. This is why burnout often hits the most competent people, the emotionally responsible ones, the ones who carry others, the ones who are used to pushing through. And there's a piece I want to add here because capacity doesn't just live in one place. This is where my Well 5 framework comes in. Over nearly 2 decades of coaching, I've seen this again and again. Burnout doesn't just happen because one thing goes wrong. It happens because multiple pillars are quietly depleted at the same time. And this Well 5 framework is a really practical way for you to balance your well-being. And it looks at 5 interconnected areas of well-being. It looks at your mental well-being, your thoughts, focus, decision fatigue, and inner pressure. It looks at your emotional well-being, the unprocessed feelings, the emotional labor, the people-pleasing, and the patterns, all those safety patterns that we continue. It looks at physical well-being, how we're sleeping, our hormones, movement, nourishment, recovery, and most importantly, our energy. And then we have our social well-being pillar, which looks at our relationship management, our boundaries, our communication, how we're supported, and how we are exchanging energy. And our spiritual pillar is about meaning, purpose, values, connection that is beyond the doing. When even one of those pillars is out of balance, your capacity shrinks. When several are depleted, burnout becomes almost inevitable. That is why capability alone can't save you. You might be mentally strong, but emotionally exhausted. You may be physically functioning, but spiritually disconnected. You may be socially available, but internally empty. True energy mastery in midlife is about balancing all 5, not excelling at one. And you can find the Well 5 Balance Check-in in the description or the show notes to this episode, which will offer you a really great snapshot of how balanced your pillars are. So definitely check that out in the description of this episode. And keeping these pillars balanced is a challenge. It's an art. I know this personally. There was a period in my life where on the outside I looked completely capable. I was working, parenting, supporting others, holding it all together. But underneath I was exhausted. Mentally, I was constantly thinking ahead, overthinking, or doubting myself. Emotionally, I was carrying far more than I was expressing. Physically, I was running on adrenaline. Socially, I struggled to speak up for myself and had weak boundaries. And spiritually, I had lost my sense of grounding and meaning. There was so much going on at the time, and life felt out of alignment. And that's the most dangerous kind of burnout, the quiet kind that builds while you keep functioning, while you keep pushing. And what I learned and what I now teach is this. Burnout isn't a breakdown. It's a signal that your inner systems are asking for recalibration. When I stopped pushing through and started listening, everything changed. Here's the reframe I want you to remember. Burnout isn't caused by weakness. It's caused by chronic overextension of capacity. You didn't break. You were never designed to run on empty. Think of your energy like a phone battery. Capability is having all the apps installed, all the functionality. Capacity is how much charge the battery actually has today. In midlife, we're running lots of apps. Background processes are heavier, the emotional load is greater, and recovery takes longer. Yet many people keep adding apps without ever charging the phone. Then they blame the phone for dying. In earlier stages of life, pushing through often works. In midlife, it can cost you your health, your joy, your relationships, your creativity, your presence. This is the moment leadership shifts from output-driven to energy-led. This is self-leadership at its best when you are guiding and channeling your own energy. Midlife mastery isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters without self-abandonment. And here's a simple self-connection practice you can use daily. Before you say yes, pause and ask yourself, do I have the energy, not just the skill? What will this cost me emotionally? And what will I need to recover afterward? If there's no space for recovery, it's not a capacity-aligned yes. It needs to go. And another daily practice that you can do is to check in with your Well 5 pillars and check in with what needs your attention right now. You can ask yourself, which of my Well 5 pillars needs my attention right now? Not all 5, just one that's whispering before it starts shouting. And here's your self-reflection question for today. Where am I relying on my capability while ignoring my capacity? Sit with that. Your body already knows the answer. This week, try this simple practice. Each morning, ask yourself, what does my energy need today to stay sustainable? Then let that answer guide your pace, your priorities, and your boundaries. And remember to check out the Well 5 balance check in the description box so you can really gain the awareness around what pillar needs your focus. And in the next episode, we'll explore why emotional exhaustion is the biggest hidden drain on energy and how unprocessed emotions silently fuel burnout. And in the meantime, remember this. Midlife isn't about proving how much you can carry. It's about learning how to carry life without losing yourself. Please remember to like and subscribe and leave me a comment. I would love to hear how you are balancing your Well 5 pillars. And please also share this episode with a friend who may be quietly burning out and needs to increase their well-being capacity. Thank you for joining me on a new way to love, live, and lead. And remember, you're not too late. You are right on time. And your best, most aligned and energetic chapter begins right now.